Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I am riding my Rad Mini e-bike, and I have my hat cam on. It's a little different than normal, but I'm gonna go be filming as I fly my Umx Radian glider, which is in that box that you can see down there. And I haven't flown it for about 2 years, and so we're headed to my favorite flying park, which is has got plenty of space to fly, and I'm gonna give it a try again. Over the winter, I had some health issues, and my right wrist, which is what you have to throw the plane with, it got very painful and still kind of hurts. So every time I try to throw something like a paper airplane or something, my coordination seems to be really bad. So anyway, we're going to go see if I can still fly this thing, and the reason being is because I want to show my grandson how to fly an RC plane. Now, a couple of years ago, we tried what I'm planning to do, but he didn't have a drone or anything back then, and he just could not figure out what to do. Now he's got his own drone. He flies it quite well, and so I think probably he'd be much more apt to enjoy flying the RC plane. And I've got a trainer that I can hook up. I use a DX6 transmitter, and I've also got a DX5E, which came with one of my planes, and so it will work as a trainer, and I've got that all figured out and how to use it. Now watch this guy in the white car. He stops and then he goes, and then he says, "You go ahead." So I appreciate it. By the way, I'm using my DJI Osmo Action camera, and it has what they call rock steady stabilization. And you'll notice, if you haven't noticed in the video, everything that I'm on the bike, and everything on the bike is bouncing up and down, but the camera doesn't show that. So I'm really happy with that camera. Anyway, so I'm trying to get ready to help him, but I've got to practice up a little bit. So I'm flying into the big park here, and where I got plenty of room. There are some parks out near where we are, which is where I'll probably train him once I get trained. So that's the plan, and I also plan on when he gets to the point where he can fly, probably get him a plane of his own, and he can fly. Right now, the Radian Umx Radian glider is out of stock at Horizon Hobby. That's where you get them, and it's a beautiful flying plane, the easiest plane I've ever flown. And so I think probably when they come back in stock, if he's really interested, then we'll get him into it and get him one started. So we're coming to the park, and by the way, I was surprised to meet a friend who I hadn't seen for at least a couple of years, if not longer. He lives down the street that we just came along, and he was out walking his dog. He knows Randy that I've talked about in previous videos around this park, flying at this park, and he's finally getting serious about flying RC planes. And so he happened to be walking his dog, and he came by, and we had a really, really nice conversation. But I had the camera turned off when he came by, so you won't get to see him. But anyway, he's a pretty nice guy, and it was really a pleasant visit. So as we're coming up here, there was somebody walking on the sidewalk with a couple of dogs, and I didn't want to run over him, so that's why I'm cutting across the grass. And that uses up a lot more battery than riding on the road. And I don't know if you can notice carefully on my mini monitor, I'm down to about 2 notches of batteries. So I got a long ways to go to get home, and so I hated to see that happen. So we're getting there now. Remember, I haven't flown this thing for quite a while, and this old guy is really nervous because I don't want to crash it or anything. And I get nervous. I shake a lot anyway. I don't know. I've mentioned it in my videos before. So that's 4.2 miles that you see there, and I've got, when I stop, I've got three bars on my bike monitor. So now I'm notice the shaky hands. Now I'm gonna take off, and I already hit the throttle, picking it up, and then when I let it go and I reach down to the monitor or to the controller, I accidentally hit the throttle cut. Now throttle cut is on some nice transmitters for RC planes. What it does, it makes it so that when you got it turned on, you can throw the switch and it turns off the motor. Everything else works, but not the motor. That way you can work on it in the house and not worry about it. Well, I accidentally hit that switch, so now I'm going to try it again with the shaky hands, more shaky now, and we're going to see if I can take it off without crashing. I'm really nervous. So there it goes, and I'm finally getting it up in the air, and so this was the first battery. I didn't record the second battery because, in my opinion, this is kind of boring to watch. So while we're watching that, I'll tell you what's going on lately with my computer. I think I told you in an earlier video that I had to take it apart and replace the processor, and in the process of messing around with it, I went from 8 gigabytes down, or from 16 gigabytes down to 8. So that means that I have half as much memory. But my new program, the Movavi video editor, is working fine. But what happened was earlier this morning, when I was looking at these videos before I started making the editing. I was looking at them, and so then I had to go do some other things, so I went ahead and went to shut it off, and so then it said there's updates, so do you run the updates and then shut it off? So I said sure, okay. So I walked away and forgot about it, and so then when I came back and turned the computer on, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. I could push the button on the back that lights things up, and that worked, but the computer wouldn't start up. And I was thinking, oh man. So what I did is I took the side off, laid it down on the couch, and the only thing I knew to do was pull out the CMOS battery and put it back in, kind of like rebooting. I don't know if anybody else ever does that, but at this point in time, I looked in there, and it wasn't full of dust, so I know it wasn't the processor overheating. So I pulled the CMOS battery out, put it back in, took it off the couch and stood it up and plugged everything in, and turned on the switch. And sure enough, it came back on, and everything's working fine. So I don't know what the Microsoft update did to my computer, but it messed up. I guess it messed up the CMOS. It messed up something because it just would not turn on. So anyway, I'm flying around, turning right and turning left, getting used to it, and I'll probably be going out to the big park more often now to get practiced up, but I'm not going to bore you with all these videos, so so don't worry. Anyway, there it is. I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.